This is Ify Fashion for short. Ify Fashion. Welcome to our studio. We are here to learn how to thread our sewing machine. How to thread our sewing machine. So most of our followers have been asking, how do we thread this machine? We have a machine, we are struggling on how to thread it. So I really thought it's very important for us to understand what machine is all about and how do we actually thread this sewing machine. So today I'm concentrating more on the machine and how we can thread it. So first of all, we need to understand what is a sewing machine. Sewing machine is a manual and electrical machine that stitches fabrics or any kinds of material together with a thread. So it stitches fabric and any kind of material together with a thread. It was invented during the first industrial renovation. So the reason why it was invented is to reduce the amount of manual sewing work that was performed in sewing industries. So hand sewing and machine sewing is completely a totally different thing. So they come up with the idea, no, we need to do this to enable sewing and making of fabrics more interesting for people. So that's why they use thread to put materials together. So now we want to first of all understand the parts of the machines. So when you know the parts and what it does, so it can now enable you now to know, oh, this is what this does. Then from there we'll now go into the proper thing of threading the machine itself. So in threading this sewing machines are different kinds. Have been privileged to work with different kind of sewing machines, and totally they work differently, but at the end of the day they have one result. What is the result that they have? The result that they have, they enable you to stitch fabric and come up with a nice lock stitches on the fabric. So they work in two different ways. We have the top one, we have the top thread, and we have the what they call it the lower thread, which is the thread that comes up with the bobbin. So first of all, I want to explain what this parts and what they actually does. So first of all, here we have the this is the thread. This is a thread, but I will show us on how to thread it itself. But this is a thread that we use to stitch fabrics together. This is called the spoon pin. So this spoon pin helps to hold the thread. This spoon pin is like a thread carrier. It helps to hold the thread. So they have different kinds. Some are vertical, while different machine has different kind of spoon pins. Yeah, it's a metal pin that holds the thread that you use to connect through the machine. So some are vertical, while some are horizontal. So the vertical one works nicely, just like mine, as you can see. So the next one we are talking about is the hand wheel. Yeah, this is a metal wheel. Yes, you can see it goes straight facing you. It moves straight facing you. That's what the hand wheel does. Then we have the stitch selector. This is called the stitch selector. So this stitch selector enables you to control the stitches of the machine. So if the machine you want to sew a temporary stitches, stitches that you don't want to stay, that you can easily take off, like a gather stitches, then you can roll it to 5. So it's at 5 now. So this 5 will stitch a temporary stitches for you that you can easily take off, or a gather stitches. Then you want to stitch a normal stitches, you use this selector to regulate it to 2. I usually put this machine on 2.5. You can see 2. This is the half. So you place it, you make sure this 2.5 is pointing on this hole. Yeah, there's a hole on the machine itself. So once the arrow, the half point is pointing on this hole, then you know that yes, you have gotten the right setting of the machine. Yeah, you take it from there. So this one is the reverse. This is called the reverse stitch lever. The reverse stitch lever. So it moves up and down. Once you pull it, once you're stitching, either when you are stitching with your hand wheel, once you pull it back, it reverses to the opposite direction. Then you release it, it continues in the front direction. So this enables you to lock your fabric, your seam, at the beginning point and at the ending point. So we call it the reverse stitch lever. That is what it does. Then here you can see some hole. You can see some metal. These are pins. These are metal holes in between this metal lever. So these are called the thread guide. They enables you to guide your thread against the tension. Yes, because you know it's a machine, so you don't have to put the thread directly to the needle. It's not gonna sew properly. So you have this pin guide. You have some of them have holes in between. Like this one has 3 holes. This has 3 holes, but I will show you how it's being done when I'm teaching you how to thread it. Yeah, so this enables it control the tension on the thread while you are sewing. So that is what the thread guide does. Then we have here, this one is very important. This one is called the tension regulator. This is called the tension regulator. The tension regulator. This tension regulator, you must make sure it's normal. In some electrical machine, it's just set on the normal thing, but in manual machines, you have to adjust it to make sure your thread is not too tight. If it's too tight, once you start sewing, it will poke and you start breaking the needles. It will start breaking the thread. Some people will say, I've threaded my machine, but I don't know the reason why this thing is cutting. Why my thread keep on cutting? The cause of that cutting is on your tension regulator. So once your tension regulator is too tight, it will pop the thread and it will start cutting. Then if it's too loose, it's not going to stitch the fabric at all. So once you place your thread on it, you make sure it's on the normal. But I usually use 4 as my normal on this very industrial machine. Yes, once it's normal, you can see your thread can easily move. You can easily move your thread, yes, without you struggling to do it. And it controls the main seam as well. Then we have this one, the take-up lever. This is called the take-up lever. This is called the take-up lever. This take-up lever, it moves up and down with your needle. It moves up and down with your needle. It's a metal lever that has a hole in between. So when you are threading your thread, you must make sure you pull your thread in between that hole on this lever. So this lever enables you to control the thread also and control the seams as well, to take away tension on the thread when your seam is going on. So this is a clipping pin. It also serves as a thread guide as well. It serves as a thread guide. Then we have this. We have the needle clamp. The needle clamp helps to hold the needle. So when you look here, you will see that on the side there is a screw on the side. So if you want to change the needle, you just put your screw, you just put your needle on that screw, open it up, and your needle will go off. Then when you want to put it in, you release it a bit, and you put your needle. And this needle is a side needle. You must make sure the eyes of the needle is facing the left side. So once this is done and you push it up nicely, then you screw. So that's what the needle clamp does. It helps to hold the needle. This is the needle itself. So then the needle, it has an hole at the center that you can put your thread in. Then this other part here, we have what we call in the machine, we have the presser foot. This is the presser foot. You can see it moves up and down. So it's movable. So it enables you, once you move your presser foot up, it can enable you to put in your fabric when you want to sew. When you put it down, then you put it down, you start sewing. Once you are done with your sewing, you pull it up. So it releases the fabric and you take it out. That is what the presser foot does. It has a button at the back. You can see the button at the back. If you want to keep it permanently up, you just pin the presser foot button at the back, so it will stand up. Yeah, you can see it's standing up. So when you drop the button, the presser foot button at the back, it sits. Yes. So when you want to start sewing, it can't stand and you start sewing. It must sit while you are sewing through it. Yeah. So as you're sitting now, you start sewing. Once you're done with your sewing, you put it up. Then you keep it permanently up. Then the one they use the foot one is this one. You use your right foot to put it. So this is the foot, the one you move with your foot. So if you want to keep it temporarily up, you just pull your left foot and your presser foot will stand up nicely. Then once you release it, it will drop as well. Yeah. So we have this one. We call this the bobbin cover. So this enables you to have access to your bobbin. So the bobbin is the second part of our sewing machine. Yeah, remember, it's a sewing machine does compete. They are different. They are different, but they are two different threads coming from two different directions that at the end of the day form a very nice lock stitch. So bobbin, this is our bobbin. The bobbin winder is inside. This is the bobbin winder. So you can ring your thread on the winder. Yes, some people call it rulers, as the case may be. Yes, so this winder helps you ring your thread nicely on it. Then once you are done with your winder, you place it inside your bobbin. So when you look at the side of your bobbin, on the side of your bobbin, there is a tension disc on the side. So you pull your thread on the in between the lines. Yes, the line on the bobbin. Yes, and move it to the left direction, and it will come out on that hole. So you see, it's no longer moving quickly; it's moving slowly. So that tension on that this tension enables the thread not to controls the tension on the thread on the bobbin side. Yes, just like the regulator control the tension on the top thread, so also this bobbin tension disc control the tension on the thread coming from the bobbin side. So you put it in, yes, and this is the bobbin cover. It enables you to have access. It enables you to have access. This is the bobbin cover. It enables you to have access to the bobbin. Yes. So we have the throat plate. They call it throat plate, but most people call it a needle plate. So this is the throat plate. So it's in between the presser foot. It's in between the presser foot and the feed dog. I will explain what this feed dog, what it is and what it does as well. So, but this throat plate is a metal plate that is in between the presser foot, the needle, and the feed dog. So this presser plate has a hole at the center. So this hole at the center enables the needle to pick up the thread coming from the bobbin side. So that's the sewing that we're talking about happens in this hole in between the needle plate. People call it needle plate, but the name is a throat plate. Yes. So what it does, it enables access, the top thread to have access to the bobbin thread, to both together to form a nice lock stitch. Yes, that is what this does. And if you see on the side, there's a line on the right side of this plate. There's a line. This line enables you to control the stitches. When you are sewing on a straight line, it enables you to sew on a straight line. So this line, they have one line 2, line 3. You can see it. Yes. So it enables you to keep your hands sewing straight. So that is what this plate does when you are sewing. So we have, I said something about the feed dog. The feed dog is a metal teeth. So you can see this teeth. So this teeth is in between the throat, the needle plate, and the presser foot. So you can see it. It's a teeth in between. So this teeth enables you to have control over the fabrics. It controls the amount of fabric that goes in through the presser foot. So when you want to pull it too much, sometimes it ends up break the needle, or the needle it will bend itself because it's already doing the work of controlling the fabric itself. So that is what the feed dog does. Yes, when you are sewing. So it enables the machine to control the amount of fabric that comes into for him to stitch. Yeah, for it to stitch as well. So that is what it does. Yeah, we have learned about this. So now we'll look at the feet controller. The feet controller. So it's like a car. So when you are sewing, so that is what it does. Yes, it controls the movement of the machine itself. Yes, it controls the movement of the machine. Yeah, it controls the movement of the machine. That is what the feet controller does. Then we have the power button. So it's green and red. The green one signify on. You can see even written there, while the red one is off. So before you start, that's why I said it's a sewing machine. It's a manual and electrical machine that stitches fabrics together. So what I mean, there are some that are manual, while some that are electrical. So this one is electrical and it has a power button. So with this power button, you just switch the green one. When you want to get it on, you switch the green one, which is on. Then when you are done with your sewing, you switch the red one, which is off. So once you put it on, whatever activities you do in the machine, the machine is ready to serve you and to do whatever work you want the machine to do. But that of the manual one, it doesn't have a power button. Your starter foot, your foot controller, once you press in your foot, then the manual one will start working. So these are the parts and what they actually does. So now I want to enter into the second phase of this very lesson. So which is learning how to thread our sewing machine. So we have explained. I just want to take this one off completely so that I will start it all over again so that you can see it how it's done. Different machine has different way of threading them. Yeah, they have this kind of U-shaped way of threading the machine. So, but at the end of the day, they all have the same function by stitching the machine nicely. Okay. 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 Yes. So now we want to do the second phase of our project, threading the sewing machine. Yeah. So first of all, you place your leg on the foot controller. Once that is done, your foot is already there. Then you go to the power button. You switch it on. It's a machine, so you give it some time to roll, just for all the oils to circulate around the machine. So once that is done, then you can now start first of all with your hand wheel. You control with your hand wheel to see if your machine, your take up and your needle, is it working nicely. So if that is done, so now remember it's 2 sections, the top one and the bottom one. So first of all, I want to prepare our bobbin. Yeah. So this is our bobbin winder. So we have to really thread on this bobbin winder. So you place your thread on it. The thread must face your direction, facing you. You roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Yes. So you can see now it's not firm on its own. So the thread must face your direction, not the opposite direction. Then you lift up your presser foot. You use the back button to keep it permanently up, because now you are reeling your thread. So you use the back button to keep the presser foot up. So the presser foot is up. So now the machine has a reeling thing. So but when I want to reel with a big thread, it can't sit on the bobbin rollers. So I just place it on the floor. I'm using a big thread. I place it on the floor. Then I have my winder on me, which is known as a rollers. I place a little screw. You can use a little screwdriver. I just use a metal iron that can fit into this hole, the winder hole. Then you start your machine. Yeah, the machine always, the hand wheel always roll your direction. Yeah, and just place it on the side of the hand wheel. You must make sure your hand is holding the thread nicely. So once it's getting full, the winder will not roll as much. That shows that it's full. To stop automatically on its own. Yeah. So it's clotted on one side, so this one to be open. As a seamstress, you must always have your scissors on your side when you cut. So you take the winder, you take the bobbin. This is the bobbin. You place your winder inside your bobbin. You drop it in. Yeah. So there's a hole, a slit at the side of the bobbin. You put your thread underneath the hole. Then roll it on the side. So remember, I told you this one here is a disc. It's a tension disc for the bobbin. So this tension disc controls the tension on the thread coming from the bobbin wind. So you can see now it's not as fast as it's just coming out gradually. Yeah. So now our bobbin and its wind is set. So the bobbin case, now we'll place it. There's a hole underneath for the bobbin case. And you just put your bobbin plate for you to have access to your bobbin. So you place it. If you hear the sound, make a sound. Once you pull it, place it sharp in the center. It's on the bobbin case and it's on the bobbin also. So the pin is on the bobbin case, then there's a hole at the bobbin. You see the hole on the bobbin? So on the bobbin case, it's just standing like a pin. So this hole on the bobbin will sit inside this hole. On the bobbin case, it's like a pin, a round pin that will go into it's like a round pin that will go into this hole. So once you push it in, you click it, on the side there is a hole on the side of the winder, the bobbin winder. So once that hole click inside this hole, it will make a sound which shows that your bobbin sits perfectly. You hear the sound? Yes. So that means your bobbin is ready. So now we want to thread the upper part, the top side of the machine. So we'll place our thread on the spoon pin. So this spoon pin has some different, it depends on the machine. Yeah, they have different types. Yeah. So you put your thread there. So you pass your thread through this metal lever. It has a hose. It serves as a thread guide. So you just turn it. It's flexible. It's movable. For you to put it at the right side, turn it on the other side. So you pull it down. So you cut the edges of the thread to make sure it has a sharp edge to enable those edges to go into those holes. These are also a thread. Yeah, you can see this pin also. There's a hole in between the pin. It's called also our thread guide. Yeah. So you can see the tension. Yeah. On this pin. So this tension enables you to control the tension on the thread. So now we have this metal pin here also. It's also called our thread guide. You put the thread at the center in between the holes. This is the first one. Yeah, I've put my first. Then you put the second one. Put your thread in between the hole on the second hole of the pin, metal pin. Then the third one, you put it in between. Yes. So you put it through our tension regulator. So I told you what this tension regulator does. Then you clip it on the pin on the side. Then you cut our thread again. Then you take the thread, you put it in between the take-up lever. So this take-up lever, there is a hole in between it. So please take note of that hole. So this take-up lever, you can never avoid it whenever you are threading. It moves up and down with the needle. Yes, it moves up and down with the needle. So you pull our thread in, then you clip it also on the thread guide. Then you come this way again. There is a pin here on the corner at the edge of the needle clamp. You clip your thread on the side of the thread guide also. So now we are the needle clamp. So remember, the needle clamp holds the needle, and there is a hole. Yes, so that hole in between the needle clamp, the needle itself and the clamp. So you put your needle, your thread through the hole. Then you're done with it. Now we go straight to the needles, the eyes of the needle. So our needles, some machines, their needle face towards your direction, but this one is facing on the left direction. So you make sure you put it in. I'm already used to this thing, so I don't even look at the hole of the needle. Once I just put it, it goes in. So for those who don't know who struggle with putting the needles, the thread on the eyes of the needle, some people can use glasses, or you can use lights. So anything that can help you to put in the thread on the needle, you can just do that as well. But also in the other way, once you cut the tip of the thread nicely with the scissors, it will have a very sharp edge, so you can easily put it in without struggling, just like I did mine now. Yes, so now we have completed the front. So we are done with the front section of the threading. So now we want to connect it with the lower thread, so which is connected on the bobbin already. So you just use remember we say with this needle plate has a hole at the center. So it's that hole that you use your needle to pick up the thread coming from the bobbin that will enable you to sew. So it's that hole that does the sewing. So that hole by the side enables you to sew, to connect the front thread, the top thread, and that of the lower thread together to form a nice lock stitch. And also this line on the side enables you to control the straightness of your sewing. So now I want to pick it up. So you can see now it has already taken up I want to drop my bobbin. It's already taken up the bobbin thread. So you just use your screwdriver to take out the thread. Yes, now the both thread are ready for sewing. So the top thread and the lower thread, they are both ready to sew. So you just put it underneath the presser foot, so the thing must go backwards. So that is our sewing machine. That's how to thread our sewing machine. And we just want to do a short project. Okay, now so we are done with the threading of our machine. So I just want to do a simple project so that you can get hold of your machine, to be in control of your machine, and to stitch a fabric on your own without you struggling. Yes, to stitch it. So I just want to do this is like a 4 corner, a piece of cloth I cut in 4 corner. So I just want to fold the edges, the 4 edges nicely, so with our sewing machine. So what do? I've done the threading. So what do? I'll push up my presser foot, so it's up ready for to accept the fabric to go in. So I'll do the first folding, and I do the second folding. So I place it, so my presser foot is on, I place it underneath the machine and I drop it. So it's done. So now I'll use my hand wing to start. My leg is already on the foot controller, ready to press. But now I want someone to do it gradually. I don't want to be too fast, so that you can be able to do it at your own comfort zone, so without you struggling to do it as well. So this is it. Yeah, I've started. So first of all, I want to put a lock. To lock I will use the reverse lever, stitches lever, to lock the edges of my stitch before I start sewing. So I start, press the reverse button. So the reverse takes you to the opposite direction for you to have a good lock to seam. So I've locked it, and then gradually it's on top. So now I'm getting to the edges. I'll fold it again, then I'll pull my presser foot up. It's like I'm drawing an angle 90. I use my reverse lever to lock the stitches. I've done that. So I have folded the other side as well. So once I'm on top of it, I'll use my hand wheel to control the machine. Yes. So when you want to go slow, you just use your hand wheel to control the machine. So now I want to start. I'll use my reverse stitches lever. And push your presser feet up. So now you can see our hanky. I'll fold it nicely and put it on the side of your plate. Yes, we have done it. That's a very short project. So this is done just to enable us to control your machine. After threading it, what can I do with my machine? So this will enable you to control the use of your machine, and to see that those functions that we explain, how we make use of it to stitch just this short, brief hanky. So thank you. Please, if you love our video, please subscribe to our channel, like and share our video in Instagram, in YouTube, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Thank you and stay blessed. Bye.